Hey everyone, it's Types and Mega Dream EX, which is making up a good chunk of the Ascendant Heroes expansion internationally, recently released in Japan. Unfortunately, there still aren't seedly results here on Limitless, but the cards are out. Again, I'm not actually sure why Limitless hasn't updated all this stuff. Like the logo's also blurry. Anyways, um, yeah, the set is out in Japan, and today I figured we'd rank all of the best cards from this set. Again, from this set in Japan, not internationally. There have been a few cards we've seen from the decks, the 100 decks. I don't remember the name of them, but there's a bunch of decks, and then they're going to be making up a good chunk of the set as well. I don't know if they're making up more or less of the set than Mega Dream. I think they're making up more in terms of actual cards. But I think a lot of the cards are going to be pretty bad. But there have been, anyways, two good cards that we've seen from the set. There's a Mega Charizard X, or no, Mega Charizard Y EX, which looks like decent. It doesn't look absurdly good, but it looks like decent. And then there's also the item, which is like super good, searching for any non-rule box Pokemon. So that's not on the list. That would be S tier. I'm just gonna say that. It's not like the most broken card in the game, but it's like, I mean, it's very good. It's definitely S tier. It's definitely better than any of these cards on the list. And the Charizard would probably go into like B tier. It might even go into A tier. Honestly, these cards, I'm not gonna lie, they're not like insanely good. I have 20 cards here, all the megas, all the trainers, and in my opinion, the 10 best or most interesting single prizes. But if there are any single prizes you want me to talk about, you want to hear my thoughts on that I don't have here, make sure you comment that down below, and I'll say what I think about them. And tell me if I missed anything big. I'm pretty sure I did not. Um, but yeah, let's just hop right in, starting with the trainers. The first card here is called, I think it's called Late Ball. I don't remember. Oh wait, no, well, that's a tool. Okay, we'll go in supporter order. Or supporter. I want to do item supporter tool stadium, but I thought this was an item for a second. So we'll do supporters first. The first one here is Canary. Canary is, I actually forgot to talk about this in my last video. It did really well as well. So I'm thankful for that. But yeah, I forgot to like mention it. It's a supporter here that says you discard another card. Honestly, I forgot it required you should discard another card. It does not matter that much requiring you to do that. It could be good. What it does is it allows you to search your deck for lightning Pokemon, put them into your hand. Of course, this is very powerful when you want a bunch of lightning Pokemon, presumably not just basics, right? You're looking for some evolutions. One of the best, if not the best, lightning evolution, unless I'm forgetting something, is going to be electric, which is also in this set. It's being, like, I guess, reprinted. Same regulation mark, but also there's the Mega Electros EX, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. It also works with this Heliolisk, which it directly refers to, but which directly refers to it. But anyways, you can pair this with some different things, and presumably if you're playing it with electric, you want to get energy in the discard, and might struggle a little bit to do so, so this could help with it some. Anyways, getting 4 lightning Pokemon is pretty nice. Ultimately, lightning doesn't really have particularly good since you support Pokemon, you have electric, but you don't really have like a draw as far as I'm aware for lightning. I mean, yes, there's Murata and EX to search lightning Pokemon, but this is also searching lightning Pokemon. If we get a good draw basic, with that's lightning, then I think this would be really, really nice. Not like, I mean, in general, I'm not gonna lie. If you don't watch my channel that much, I'm not a huge fan of search supporters. I mean, like Arvent's good, but outside of that, I'm not really a huge fan of them. I'm a little lower than most people, but anyways, this isn't doing everything for you. It's just doing one thing that your items are also doing. Also, you generally don't need 4 lightning Pokemon, but with electric, you are going to need a few there. It's all right. I'll put it in B tier. It's by no means a I could even see it in C tier. I'm gonna put in, okay, so I'll break down the tiers real quick as well. S is gonna be like super good, borderline staple or like meta defining. A is gonna be like quite good, seeing good chunk of play. B is gonna be like seeing play as well. Um, Not like a staple or anything like that. Not played all over the place, but like definitely a substantially important meta card. I mean, I don't know if like crazy, not super meta, but like decent. C is like, it's kind of meh. But there are definitely reasons to play it. There's some cool things it does. D tier is like not good. It's like not the worst card ever, but it's not very good. And then F is gonna be like super terrible, like pretty unplayable. Yeah, so yeah, I think B tier. I think B tier makes sense. It's not a super great card, but it definitely has value. And I'm not gonna lie, it's one of the better cards in the set. The set, as I said, isn't super strong so far. We've only seen like half a set. But then we have the next card. This card, okay, I watched PCG Radio's top 10 video. Or okay, I didn't. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't. I like skipped through it just in quick preparation for this video to make sure I didn't miss anything. We have the supporter here, which was on it, but maybe it wasn't here there like seriously. Anyways, it's Anthea and Concordia. Wait, what are these names? Okay. And then you can use this only if you have Ens Darmanitan, Ens Zoroark EX, Ens Vanillux, Ens Klinklang, Ens Veshram, and Ens Zekrom in play. And then during this turn, if your opponent's active is knocked out by damage from attack from one of your Ens Pokemon, you take 3 more prizes. This card is really bad. Like really bad. Because it's pretty much unplayable, like actually unplayable, not like, oh, it's really bad, but like, no, like you can't play it unless you have these conditions, which are almost impossible to get. I mean, I guess it's kind of doable, but you also don't instantly win if you get these conditions either, right? Like, you need to take 3 prizes, and I've heard people say, like, oh, you just knock out a Mega and then you win. Yeah, I guess, but knocking out a Mega isn't super easy. I mean, and Zekrom, we'll get to that card. It's a really nice card for the deck. But ultimately, it's not knocking out Megas, right? And it's not knocking out Megas by itself. You still need the 2 energies on the Enzork EX. You probably need some damage buffs. It's not from Pekrovent EX finding Emoji because you don't have room for that. It's not from, I don't know, maybe it's from a Defiance Band, and then you can be doing 280. So if your opponent has their Mega Absol, just like floating in play, then you could like theoretically win. If it's in the active too, I guess you could counter catch her. And they can't be disrupting you, which is like their whole thing. So you're gonna need to, I don't know. It's like unplayable. Long story short, this card's like super unplayable. Getting all these cards in play, there's 2 stage 2s. Those are super hard to get into play. One of the stage 2s is like useless, the Ens Klinklang, which is not new. The Ens Vanillux and Ens Vesher and Zekrom are new, which we'll talk about in this video, but Ens Klinklang is not new. It's like super, super bad. So you're just gonna have like these Pokemon, which like even though like the rest are like have value, but they're not actually gonna have value in the deck. Really, because you're just being like spread way too thin. Um, you can't tack this into an end stack because again, Unsealing Clang is terrible. Even if you toss that in, it's just like such a different line of play. So it's really bad. Unfortunately, it's going to go in F tier. It's one of the worst cards we've seen in a while. It's a really funny card. I'm not going to sit here and like deny that, but it's really terrible. Then we have the tool, the first tool, which is light. What is it? Light orb, light ball, which says attacks used by the Pikachu EX cards attached to do 50 more to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. There's a bunch of Pikachu EX in standard if you didn't know. Like they're really bad. They're not like all terrible, but most of them are pretty bad. But well, there's a good one, right? There's a good Pikachu EX. The one, the Terra slash Stellar one. Wait, where is it? It's up here. It does 300, right? 300 for 3, and it has the ability that it like doesn't get one shot. You know, if you play the game, you probably know this card. And 300 is a decent number to hit, but it's a little short. So this card has some value. It is like situational. I mean, it only works on like one card. I guess there's technically a few of the Pikachu EXs. They're all like super generic and not very good. So, this is, I don't know. I mean, like it's decent on this card. It's not like you need it all the time. It's situational. Pikachu EX is good, but it's like kind of hard to attack with, specifically a lot. I guess you don't need to attack with it a lot if you're hitting 350. It definitely helps in some situations. So I guess I'll put in B tier. Above Canary. I don't know if I'm gonna order these, but it's an all right card. It's not amazing by any means, but it is. I mean, it's really nice in some situations. It's definitely a decent card, but not crazy either. Then we have the other tool from the set, which is, what is it, Dragon Scales or something? Um, Thick Scales. There we go. Which says the Dragon Pokemon this card is attached to takes 50 less damage from attacks from your opponents. Um, Grass, fire, water, or lightning Pokemon. The way it's written, it kind of sounds like it has to be all types. Obviously, that's not the case because that's not anything. But yeah, so you take less from these types. These types are pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like if we look at the metagame right now, you got Metal, you got Dragon, you got Darkness, you got Psychic. You do a Fire. But like, who's attacking you with their grass Pokemon? Fire, you could see some, but Sailor can also just do more damage. Water, you know, you're not going to hit by that much. Lightning doesn't see that much play. I see some play. It's getting some stuff from the set, and then there's another type that's like also bad. Like like it's worse than one of these types. I mean, maybe fighting. Like, yes, there's fighting Ogrepon, which sees some play. That also hits through it, so it doesn't matter. And then yeah, there's not that much beyond that. I mean, I guess there's like Solrock too, though, so that'd also be like useful. And then there's like also the Ursaluna. So yeah, it's like on like arguably the worst four types, which is like really unfortunate. And really like bad. Like I don't know how like it's managed to be on the worst four types. But this card isn't actually super terrible. Like you'll run to these decks from time to time. Taking 50 less damage is like kind of cool. Ultimately, these damage reduction cards don't really see play. But this is not like 50 less damage is kind of cool. If if one of these types or like these four types end up being in combination like half the metagame, which is possible. I mean, you look at the metagame right now. If it was like Metal, Dragon, Darkness, Psychic, or something like that, that's I don't know exactly how much of the metagame that is, or like Colorless as well. Something like that. Maybe not Psychic there. That's going to be a lot of the metagame, and that's going to be really good. Honestly, like the taking less from metal isn't that good in my opinion. With the Goldango just like doing more damage potentially, but anyways, it's like it could be good. Will it be good? Probably not. Will it see play? I don't know. I'll toss it in C tier. It's not like the worst card ever, but it's really whiffed on the types. It's really unfortunate how that's lined up. But then we have the last trainer here. This card is the stadium here. The stadium is what's it called? It's called Night Mine. Also the trainer name, specifically the stadium and like the tool names and stuff aren't necessarily finalized. This is a translation, so the name could be wrong. But anyways, it says attacks used by Terra Pokemon in play cost one colorless more. I've not seen this played in Japan so far. Looking around at tournament results, but I think this card has to be super good, right? Like if we look at the metagame, you can see Dragapult, see Charizard, you could see Sterilage, right? These are I think the main three you're looking at. There was also Team Sugar upon the X, I guess. Or Chronostorm Master upon the X as well, or I guess the Wellspring. So those are there. I mean, there's Terrabox, right? Where is Terrabox? Have I missed it, or is it like actually lower than this? I don't know. There's like Flareon. Oh, Terrabox is here. Obviously Terrabox plays different Terras. Flareon also plays different Terras. A lot of these decks do have stadium bumps, but honestly, I think the big thing is like Dragapult. If you're playing a deck like what's the deck that runs the stadium battle cage. Okay, well this didn't load, but here we go. So battle cage is a 4 in this deck. It's like super good against Dragapult. It is useful in other situations, but ultimately it's like really really good against Dragapult. Light Mine's going to be like a lot better against Dragapult because they like can't really attack if it's a blade. Like they kind of can, they can like get to it, but it's going to be a lot harder. And you have like enhanced hammers here, so Night Mine is like super good, and it helps you in other situations as well. Battle Cage again, it kind of does, but I think it's not just a better Battle Cage, but it kind of is. Night Mine is so good. Well, it's different as well. It like hurts a lot of the decks. It hurts. It really hurts. Stereo Ledge. How many stadiums? Because I think Stereo Ledge is still quite good. Stereo Ledge plays. Yeah, usually I think it plays no stadiums. If your opponent like what am I? Okay, this list plays 3, but um then you could get one to stick if you played 4. So like yeah, this card like obliterates some decks. I'm gonna put it in S tier. I think it's super good. It's not in every deck kind of card because they can't go in those decks, but it's like super good. I mean, it theoretically could as well. This card is so good. These increasing attack cost cards can be crazy good if they're in the right situation, and I think this one is. Then we're moving on to the Megas. I spent more time on the trainers because they are more universal. I'll probably spend less time on the Megas here. First one's the Mega Halucha here. This one, obviously, the Megas, if you don't know, there are 3 prizers, and they can be in different stages. So this one here are different stages. Like they're not all basics, but they're the same as the normal stage. Anyways, Mega Halucha, low HP, but if it would be knocked out, you flip a coin of heads, its remaining HP becomes 10. So it is like flip a coin, doesn't get knocked out. That could be hit by something like Monkey Dory or Poison or whatever. But still, the ability is like quite good. And then Somersault Dive for 3, but it is 120 or 260 if there's a stadium in play. Ultimately, as kind of talked about, fighting doesn't really have the stuff it's looking for in terms of energy acceleration. I don't really think there's something there, so yeah, that's a bit of an issue for this card, right? But it is like kind of tanky. But if it gets one shotted, that's really bad, right? Like it's a 3 prizer, it's not actually high HP, so um, it's not super good. But like as an option with a fighting deck, I guess damage could be really good. could be tanky. So it's kind of like a bad Pikachu EX, and Pikachu EX is like A or B tier. It would be A tier. I'll put Mega Hawlucha EX in C tier. I think it is kind of playable. It's not super good. It's really uninspiring in the current meta as well, but it does have something there. Oh, there's Mega Lucario. Yeah, you compare this with Mega Lucario EX. It'd be all right. It's not that impressive, right? It has like so much less HP than Mega Lucario. But it's playable. I don't hate it, but I certainly don't love it. Then we have the next card, which is Mega Frostlass EX. Mega Frostlass EX, of course, also is like it evolves from Snorunt, which evolves into regular Frostlass, which is a cool card. Mega Frostlass EX for 1 water, which is the main attack here. It does 50 for each card in your opponent's hand. This is pretty decent, allowing you to do like theoretically big damage for 1 water. There are ways to enable this, like Iono. Yeah, someone mentioned time, which is like technically true, but your opponent could also get the card wrong to like not, you know, get knocked out. So, then like it would allow you to draw 4. And anyways, that doesn't really let's be honest, that's bad, but it's funny. But anyway, so for the most part, there aren't ways to mess with this. There is like a frost moth. But I think that card's like pretty bad. But anyway, so this card on its own is like decent. I mean, it's not that good, but paired with Frostlass, you can kind of toss it in. You can't really toss it into Marnies in terms of like energy. It just doesn't really work very well. But this card is it's decent. It's also in B tier. I don't think it's anything crazy, but I think it's a decent card. I expect to see a little bit of play. It's not the most impressive card. It's not like it's doing crazy damage that often. Really, like hoarding a bunch of cards in your hand isn't something you ever really need to do. I talk a lot about Zoroark's Machinations being kind of bad. Your opponent can generally like if they like are forced to like thin their hand a little bit so they don't get knocked out by a Mega Frostlass EX that's like pretty obviously coming. They can do that, right? I mean, theoretically, you could get this in play 1 turn with Salvatore, but presumably you're not doing that, right? And presumably, if you're doing that, your deck's like not going to work so well. Outside of that, because of consistency issues, I mean, Salvatore hasn't really seen much play. Doing well to this point, despite being a card that is like pretty versatile and powerful. So anyways, Mega Frostlass, it's all right though. Within like paired with the other Frostlass like Monkey Dory stuff, it's definitely decent and kind of fun there. Then we have the Mega Electros EX. Mega Electros EX here obviously involves some electric, which is quite good. It's not like absurdly good, but it's pretty good. Then Split Bomb does 60 to 2 for 2 lightning, and then Disaster Shock for 3 just 190. You can discard 2 to paralyze. It's okay. I'd say it's very mediocre. I don't know. Honestly, I'd say it's bad. The attacks just don't do that much. For a 3 prize stage 2, right? Automatic paralysis can be cool, but you also can't even chain it unless you have extra energies, which you can do, but you're not even like looking to chain it. You're doing that much damage, and it's not like easy to power up. So it's pretty bad. It does evolve from electric, but ignoring that, I'm gonna put it in C tier. I've seen this card see a good chunk of play in Japan. I think it's pretty bad. I mean, I don't think I've heard anyone say this card's like super, super good. As a possible inclusion within a electric deck, I think it's a fair attack. You'd probably rather have the electric in play than this almost all the time, but I mean, it does have a lot of HP compared to anything else in the deck, so it's kind of cool. I see a place for it, but in terms of an actual card, just ignoring the context, it's pretty bad. So yeah, I'll pop it in C tier. I feel like that's pretty fair. We have the Mega Dragonite EX. Mega Dragonite EX, if you haven't heard my thoughts on this card, it's really bad, right? This card's super bad. 330 for 3, and then you discard 2 from it. Is like pretty bad. For Water Lightning as well. The typing is kind of bad. It's not like, I mean, paying it. It's like a little awkward. It's not like super terrible. You could use like electric and then like attach, and it's doable, but it's not good. And then the damage is like pretty good, but again, it's a 3 prize stage 2 for 3 energy, and you lose 2. That's like bad. Yeah, I'll mention it's getting expanded, right? But in standard, it's not going to be so good. Then Sky Carry. It's kind of interesting letting you switch every turn. This is a useful ability. We've seen that we have this ability in standard on Gengar. And we have some of the things like Latias EX, which is very good. Latias EX is super good, but this card is not that good, right? It's a card that allows you to switch every turn, but it's a stage 2 3 prizer. Technically doesn't have a weakness, but is weak to Psychic Release Clefairy EX to play, which is played because Dragon Ball EX sees a lot of play. Yeah, this card unfortunately just is pretty bad. There's some like decent stuff around it. It's not like super terrible, but I'd say it's definitely one of the least inspiring cards from the set. I'm not like the entire set, but like in terms of megas, I just think it's very underwhelming. We've talked about it compared to Mega Electric EX, which I think is like objectively better, pretty much. They're pretty comparable. And I mean theoretically, Sky Carry could be useful as like a tech option against like a control deck or something, but like you could also use Gengar. So, um, and presumably that's going to be a lot less of a liability in general matchups. So this card is pretty bad. I'll put it in D tier. Could it see some play? Yeah, maybe, but I think it's realistically not going to be particularly good at all by the time that we've been playing it a little while. You never know what comes out, but um yeah, I'll talk about the Dragonair right after I talk about Mega Scrafty, though. Mega Scrafty is kind of interesting here. Right? What's this card do? Oh, is it interesting? So for 3, you do 160, just cutting random card from your opponent's hand and a mill 1. Counter Crest is your ability as well. If it's in the active and damage, you place 5 damage cards on the attacking Pokemon. So essentially, I'll just say you're doing 210. It kind of evens out to that, which like isn't very good. It's not super payable, especially. I mean, you could use Toxtricity, but then you damage yourself a little, which isn't ideal. You could use Monkey Dory, but like that's a bunch of energy there. So, um, discarding random card for your opponent's hand and milling 1. Wait, actually, no, this card's like really bad. Because or comparing it to Mega Absol, which Mega Absol, I stand by the fact Mega Absol isn't like absurdly good, right? Like Mega Absol's like nah. As a deck and with its second attack, it gets things done. It can be disruptive. It can be good, but it's not like always amazing. Discarding a random card is objectively worse, right? You don't choose. Ideally, you get the card you want, but you don't want a good chunk of the time. And then milling 1 is like not super meaningful. It's not literally useless, but it's not the most meaningful thing here. I'll put in D tier next to Mega Dragonite. I feel like Mega Dragonite is a little better. I mean, within context, I don't know. I feel like these cards are honestly kind of similar. So I feel like most people would say Mega Dragonite's better, but to be honest, I'd say they're pretty similar power level. You're on stage 1, you can attack with Toxtricity, but ultimately the payoff just really isn't there. Then I'll talk about the Mega, or not the Mega, the Dragonair, which I mentioned earlier, which of course evolves into Dragonite. This, I believe, is the only previous evolution on the list because it's like kind of cool. And it has the ability Evolution Guidance. Once on your turn, if it has an energy attached, you can search for an evolution, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. This is pretty cool, allowing you to get obviously evolution Pokemon. When do you need all these evolution Pokemon? After you already have an evolution Pokemon and have committed energy to it. I guess in like a Mega Dragonite EX deck, right? But like Mega Dragonite, as I said, like isn't super good. So this is like a nice little bump to it, but it's also kind of like Cynthia's Goodbite. Cynthia's Goodbite is super good, but it's pretty good. I definitely think Cynthia's is still good. I think it's like or it's like an underrated deck or overhated or whatever. But it also doesn't require an energy to do it, and is like evolving into your main attacker very consistently, which is just a lot better for main attacker than the Mega Dragonite. So Dragonair, it could almost like see play in Mamoswine EX, and I guess you're also playing the Mega Dragonite EX just for some switching, because like your 2 cost, I believe, is like pretty absurd in that deck. And you have like these high retreat like support Pokemon. Anyway, so it could be cool there, but like committing the energy isn't ideal either. It's okay. I'm gonna put it in C tier. I don't think it's gonna see much play on its own. Um, but it's an okay card. You know, it has some like search. I generally don't really like these cards that much. Like Mamoswine EX's search is like kind of bad. Um, because it's a stage 2, which is like kind of similar to this. It's a stage 1, and you also need an energy. So, it's not like part of your main attacking line a lot of the time. I mean, in this situation where like your main attacker isn't super good, or the evolution isn't super good, this isn't going to be super. Like it's going to be, you need to go out of the way to do it, and like Draco's like not really played outside of Dragonfall essentially at all. If I flip through here, are we going to see anyone? There's some. Oh no, that's Charizard, Dragonbolt. Yeah, pretty much everyone's playing in Dragon Ball. Here we see someone playing in Ethan's, but like for the most part, this card is like a better. So it's definitely better than Dragonair, and for the most part, it's not played without Dragon Ball. That's because Dragon Ball is very good, but also because Draco isn't like absurd on its own. So, anyways, I'll pop in C tier. And then I guess let's talk about the other Dragon Pokemon. This is like, I'm pretty sure it's definitely the best single prizer in this set. This is the and Zekrom. This does like his two effects of it on your opponent's Pokemon. It does 70, and then it can also do 250. Can attack next turn. Obviously, this is only going to be really played in Enzorg EX, and it's pretty good there. And 250 is better than 170, which is what you do with Enz Reshiram. I will say not being able to attack next turn, which I talked about this in my previous video where I went over the some decks from the set. Not being able to attack next turn is a legitimate downside. You won't want to be using this all the time. I mean, it's not like the end of the world if you have to. There are ways to switch. Realistically, Pekka and EX, then you also need to retreat. So you will need like a double switch, which is doable. It's not crazy by any means, but it isn't it's not going to be something that's super it's not like a non-issue at all, but it's like not a huge issue either. I mean, do 80 more damage is really good. So long story short, this card's good. It's been talked about some. I'm gonna put an A tier. I think it's really gonna help the end stack. It's gonna be like the main attacking option there, and then you're gonna have like a more legitimate toolbox deck, I guess. I don't know actually how the toolbox aspect is gonna work, but I think if it embraces that, that's like that is pretty good there. But then we have the other ends Pokemon on this list, which is the ends Vanillux. This card's super cool. Not good in ends. I think it's pretty terrible. Also shout out to Uncommon Fossil who likes the sheer cold Vanillux. I think this card is bad. It like stops their opponent attacking, but it's like 3 energy on stage 1. Anyways, the stage 2 here though. The second attack's also like pretty bad. It's 120 for 3, then 10 to all your opponent's bench Pokemon. But it's like, so it's a lot of setup for pretty mediocre payoff there. But anyways, Layered Snow is really cool. There's lots of attack on a Lunala for the same attack cost here. For 2 colors, you double the damage cards on each of your opponent's Pokemon. Battle Cage would stop this, so that's, I guess, unfortunate. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, this can like obviously be absurdly powerful in the right situation. It's really cool. It actually functions kind of like TM Devolution, except TM Devolution, well, they're different, right? They are different cards. TM Devolution only works on evolutions, but TM Devolution also takes less prizes. This, if your opponent has like a Mario Scripture EX with 160 damage or 100, yeah, I'll just say 160 damage cards on it, then you double it, then you take 2 prizes. If you TM Devo, you take 1. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's obviously a bunch of setup. It's not a techable thing. You're kind of building around this, pairing it with something maybe like Uxie or like maybe Dust or whatever. I don't know. But there are ways to like power this up as well. It's not too bad. I mean, you could use NSPP up, but I think you'd rather use Reversal Energy and specifically Ignition Energy, right? That's pretty good here. So, oh yeah, and Counter Gain as well. You could use that. Counter Gain, also super underrated card. So good. But anyways, Ends Vanillux is cool. It's really cool. It's not super good. It's mediocre. I'll put it in C tier. It's not that good, but it's really, really fun. Compared to all these other C tier cards, which are like mediocre, like could see play. Ends Vanillux isn't going to see top tier play, right? We all kind of know that, but it's like so cool. It's such a fun card. I'd highly recommend trying this card out. Yeah, unless everyone's playing Battle Cage, in which case this won't be so fun. And then we have the Stunfisk. This card's kind of weird. It's a trapping Pokemon, I guess. It's 1 lightning, or for 1 lightning does 30 and stops retreating. Then the defending Pokemon takes 100 more damage next turn, which is like bad for trapping. You don't want to do that much damage. So it's like not really good trapping Pokemon. It could like kind of buy time and get a knockout. I'm not really sure on the identity of this Pokemon. I've seen it played a little bit in Japan. It seems, as I said, kind of bad. I mean, kind of all over the place in not a good way. Theoretically, if you just trap Pokemon and knock it out, that's like good, I guess. You could like trap a lot of SEX and then you 3-shot it still. It's not like it's absurdly powerful. Like we've seen Mawile, which is kind of similar, but Mawile allows you to fully trap or pivot into more damage. It's interesting. I mean, you could also like retreat and like hit him with something like a bit more powerful, like a like Hops Kremlin, which is like like knock out the Latias CX after you hit him with Sapping Trap. That's like kind of cool, or something kind of like that. So that's fun. It's an interesting card. I'll put it in C tier. It's not the most powerful card. Like it's not very powerful, right? But it is interesting as a trapping option. Ethan Sudowoodo, by the way, if you don't know, that's the best trapping option. Specifically, it's the best trapping option because it's fighting, so it hits resistance, which there are a good chunk of Pokemon in the game with resistance to fighting, which, by the way, is one of the 2 resistances. There's only resistance to fighting, which you see on colorless. And well, it could be on any type theoretically, but you mostly see it on colorless and on psychic, and then you also have resistance to grass on metal Pokemon, which I guess would like be good for Maractus, but that's not that common. So, yeah, this is not doing that. This is going to be like super sketchy, but it has some use cases, I guess. Then we have the Heliolisk. This is another fun card slash deck here. Heliolisk allows you for 3 energies. You do flip coin for each energy attached to it, 70 for each heads. Then your ability Rufflet Generator, once during your turn, if you play Canary, that's the Lightning Search supporter, Lightning Pokemon Search supporter, then you can use this ability to search for 2 basic Lightning energies and attach them to this Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. The idea is get a bunch of these, accelerate to them, get a bunch of energy, flip a bunch of coins. You get the idea. Let's be honest, it's not super good, but let's be honest, it's also pretty fun. I'll pop it right next to the Ends Vanillix here. Super silly. Is it going to be good? No. Is it going to be fun? Yes. Could it be good? Maybe if we get some really good coin flip synergies, like reflipping, that's like the only good coin flipping card we've essentially ever got. Yeah, this is Wait, has random side note, has Will seen play? Will has seen play. Okay, but not that much play. That's another coin flip synergy card. Anyways, Heliolisk is cool. Is it good? No, it's not that good, but it's fun. Then you could like theoretically play it with you can play with like Raging Bull. That seems pretty terrible. That seems really funny. So you like could do something like that, but yeah. Anyways, then we also have the Rotom here. This is a pretty simple card. It's a Psychic Rotom. It does have a setup attack, but it does 30 for each tool in play. Or on your Pokemon, you can like double the tools with the Rotom EX. And yeah, you're psychic, right? You can hit weakness on Dragapult EX with Liz Clefairy EX. That does take up a bench slot, but it's not too bad. It's cool. It's whatever. I'll pop it into C tier. Another fun card here. Rotom's super cool. I've talked about it on the channel a bunch, but this card doesn't really do anything super special. And only really hits weakness with Liz Clefairy EX. There's not really anything else that I can think of that you want to be hitting for weakness. I guess like Mega Lucario. I don't know if there's anything else, but tell me down below in the comment section if there is something I forgot there. Then there's the Spectrier. The Spectrier I saw on PTG Radio's video, which is put 12 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon for 3 Psychic. You just get all the energy attached to it. It can be played in like Dragapult, or not Dragapult, in Gardevoir. Yeah, it's like okay in Gardevoir. Also, I will say I'm hesitant to put this card super high up, even if it was like broken in Gardevoir, because Gardevoir's going to rotate pretty soon after this set comes out. This is before rotation. It was the last set before rotation, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, that's like not so good. One to my snipe. I mean, if you accelerate 3 to Screamtail, then it has 60 on it, and that's also 120 snipe. So, and obviously Screamtail's like versatile. It can't hit through Shaman like this can, but this also gets slapped by Battle Cage. So like this card seems like not particularly good. I'll pop it into D tier as like and I'm gonna put in D tier. It's not very good. Will see play when it comes out? Maybe it has more HP than Screamtail, which is like kind of useful, but it's not actually that much more HP there. It's not very versatile. It seems like not very good here. Then we have the Honchkrow or Team Rocket's Honchkrow. This card's super cool. You discard like Team Rocket supporters from your hand. Again, not very good. Not like terrible, right? Actually, is this B tier? I can't really search the supporters very well. I'm not gonna lie. So, oh, you can, but you can't like search a bunch of them very well. So this card, it's 60 for supporting this card. There are easy ways to attack with this to get it powered up. You can play a special energies with Ignition and Team Rock special energy, or Team Rock's energy. How much are you doing? You're not doing quite enough. I'm gonna pop it with the rest of these like silly single prizes. I think it is the best of them. But I don't think it's going to see that much play. Well, okay, I think it's it's a silly single price deck, right? It'll see the amount of play that those decks see. But it's not going to be this powerhouse or anything like that. It's fun. I think it might be one of the better ones, but it's also not super powerful consistently. It is kind of clunky recording the setup you need. Then we have the last couple of cards here. We have the Packaron. I think this card is really interesting. I haven't really heard much talk about it. The ability, I'll just do the attack first. It does 20, and then it does 70 next turn. I really like a joke about it, like doing 70 as a turns approach infinity. But anyways, it's like not very good, right? The attack's not very good. But you have the ability here. If it's in the active and knocked out, then you search your deck for a card put into your hand, which is kind of cool. The attack is like okay, I guess. It's not very good, but with Pekron EX and Binding Mochi, it's not terrible. Though again, it's not that good either. Or Groupon as well. But anyways, this attack, or actually no, that's super sketchy as well because you get knocked out by poison, which is like really bad because the ability won't trigger. But anyways, you can like hopefully not have that happen. But anyways, you have Pekarent to search out a card. You can't be Ionoed. I mean you could be, but it's not going to stop this. So it's cool. Could be useful in like a control deck for like setting up or something. I don't hate this card. We've seen cards like this in the past. They haven't been very good. I'm gonna toss this into C tier next to this Stunfisk. I think it's a decent card for setup. It's not like absurdly powerful, but it's cool. It's kind of comparable to like Cleffa, but Cleffa draws you cards, which could be really good. But it is also a card that can get hit by Iono. I mean, if you're hit by Iono turn 2, then you end up with a hand of 6 cards instead of 7. Then you like draw another, so you're still at 7, which is like pretty good. And if your hand's like really bad, then Cleffa's good, and Iono's still also good there. So it's like not too bad. But ultimately, do I expect this card to see play? I'm gonna be completely honest, no. But could it? Yeah, I think it's a cool card. With a cool ability here. I don't think we have an ability like this in standard. Tell me if we do. An ability on a basic. We have Cofagrigus, uh, EX, right? That does the same thing. Yeah, but it's also a two prize stage 1. So that's not really the same. Then we have the last card, though. Speaking of two prize evolutions, is King Gambit. This is not a two prize evolution, but essentially it's the same thing as Charizard EX, except it doesn't accelerate. The ability increases the damage the same way that Charizard EX's attack does, and the attack is 180 for 2 here. It does 50 to itself, which isn't ideal, but whatever. This card, I've heard some people, I guess, say it's super good because I mean it's like the same as Charizard, but it's not, right? It doesn't accelerate to itself, which is like the best thing about Charizard. So, or arguably the best thing about it. It does a lot of good things. It has more HP as well. This card does not have that much HP. It actually has very little HP after it attacks. So, yeah, this card isn't super good. It's kind of cool. I'll toss into like C tier. It's kind of whatever. But you know, I don't expect to see very much play, but I figured I'd mention it here. But anyways, tell me down below in the comment section what your thoughts are on this set. If you think it's cool, if you think it's bad. As you can see, a lot of C tier cards. C tier isn't super impressive here. The top 5 we got the one card in S gonna see play. The one card in A also gonna see play. Very clear in how they're gonna see play. I mean, I expect Nightmind to see play. It might not see a ton, but I think it will, and I think it's good. And then Light Ball, Canary, and Mega Frost SDX, they're all right. They'll see some play from like time to time, but honestly, they're not like super good. C tier are more silly cards, but they're kind of fun. D tier, you know, not really gonna see much play. I mean, they might, who knows? But they're pretty bad. And then the supporter, which is really bad. Let's be honest, it's not like in the top 20 cards in this set, but it's really funny. I had to talk about it. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, all the good stuff. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.